Friends, you're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and we are talking about magical clover in witchcraft and herbalism and medicinally. So sit down with me and we will have a chat and read through some of these great books of mine and talk about clover. Now, in this video, what I just showed you is red clover. These are the ones that look like bright pink or purple flowers. Now, in this video we will also be talking about the 3- and 4-leafed clover, which is a part of a grass rather than what this is. Completely different. So as I go through these books, when one thing pops up and it's 3- or 4-leaf clover, I'll mention it, and if it's the red clover, I'll mention that as well. And while you're looking in your books, sometimes it will be called clover, and they're talking about this, and they're talking about red clover, and then other times you don't know it's a clover of the grass variety until you read into it and it says 4-leaf clover, so, or 3-leaf clover. So keep that in mind, and also kind of just to tell you what I've got going on my table, I did end up doing a little mojo bag for tooth issues where I put that crystal in there, that bean in there, and a bunch of the herbs. And then over here, I'm going to be making my own cone incense out of dried orange lemon peel, dragon's blood, saltpeter, frankincense. I mean, it smells so good in here right now. So make sure to stay tuned for that and check this out if you haven't seen that video on the oil pulling for dental issues. So clover, red clover. I think first we'll start from just a tiny snippet from this book, Scott Cunningham and David Harrington's Magical Household. When you go to the back, it says there's something on page 84, and on page 84 there's just a snippet. It says if money is a problem, you could choose mint, onion, snapdragon, camellia, chamomile, clover, dill, basil, and perhaps even a small section of wheat. Da 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 da. That's all we got in there on that, but I did want to mention it. And now on to my little herbal Bible, Scott Cunningham. And see, this is where it trips me up. It says clover, and there's a picture of this. And I went under R for red clover, and it's not there. So we'll see what we learn as we read through it. The folk names: honey, honey stalks, shamrock, 3-leafed grass, trefoil, trifoil. The gender is masculine. Planet is Mercury. Element is air. Deity Rowan. Powers: protection, money, love, fidelity, exorcism, and success. Magical uses: when they are 2-leaved, if you find a... So, okay. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe it's the same exact plant, but the leaves and grass come from one part of the plant and then the clovers come from another. I'm sorry that I didn't have that answer before the video, but I'm sure that one of my viewers could simply tell me if you do know, and that would be great. Alright, so the 2-leafed variety, the magical uses: if you find a 2-leafed clover, you shall soon also find a lover. So if you're looking for a lover, you could go hunt for a 2-leaf clover, because you know soon after you find one, there you go. The 3-leafed clover, trefoil, or the 3-leaf clover, spelled Trefoil, is worn as a protective amulet. 4-leafed clover. The 4-leaf clover, if worn, helps men avoid military service. Now, I remember finding that in this book. So Scott also says it in Magical Herbalism. It also protects against madness. Strengthens psychic madness, meaning craziness. Okay, not like mental madness. Not, I'm upset. That would be anger. Strengthens psychic powers, enable you to detect the presence of spirits, and leads the wearer to gold, money, or treasures. We've always known in superstition, if you will, that 4-leaf clovers are lucky. And And I'm sure that that derives from Ireland because the land is so green. Kind of like the Pacific Northwest of America. I hear that we were really close to what Ireland looks like. But Ireland is just more green, more water, more foliage, more beauty. So it makes sense that clovers would be prevalent there, as it is a type of grass, right? So if two people eat a 4-leaf clover together, mutual love will be the result. 7 grains of wheat laying on a 4-leaf clover will enable one to see the fairies. Get wheatgrass, you guys. Hard-rind winter wheat berries. That grows into wheatgrass. I will do up a video on that for you guys. We grow wheatgrass here on Jugshire Farms and then sell it to restaurants for them to juice. And we grow that right in our living room with lights. You can literally grow anything indoors. We grow tropical plants here indoors in light tents and things like that. And we're able to ship them all over the country. It's quite something. Okay, so if you put a 4-leaf clover in your shoe before going out, you will increase your chances of meeting a rich new love. I would guess that that doesn't mean rich in money, but means like a rich love. Like that love's going to be really something special, either for the rest of your life or something you never forget. 5-leafed clovers. The 5-leafed clover is powerful for attracting money and should be worn for this purpose. The white clover. White clover is used to work against hexes and is worn or scattered around the premises for this. I don't know that I've ever seen a white clover. Have you guys? And I wonder where they're native to. That would be interesting to look up. There are just so many plants out there, and I've said this to a lot of you guys. I rely back to my books because I cannot remember all of these things, you know. So I do rely back to my books. But books are something of the past. Everything's so digital now, like on your phone. I really love paper books that you can like use a highlighter in. You can write on the side of the page. They mean something to me. And these books are magical tools. They're more of a magical tool than a lot of things in this room, in my opinion. So again, thank you, Scotty, for all that you've given us. Red clover. Finally! It's talking about red clover! I see what he's done. He's just sectioned it out. He said clover, and then he said all these different sections. That's now my thought. So red clover. And then beside it, he has in bold, a capital B and a capital P. This clover, added to the bath water, aids you in dealing with financial arrangements of every kind. Making herbal bath teas that you bathe in. Oh boy, I know I've talked about it in a couple videos, but I was going to say on my own, red clover, when you smell it, it smells like a tea house. I mean, it smells like some amazing, fruity tropical. And it's not, you know, it's not, it smells like deep, like hibiscus almost. Red clover. So yeah, when we add it to baths, you can make a big herbal bath. Oh my gosh, this chamomile, yarrow. You can make a bath for psychic awareness, so I should do that. There are just so many things to do. If you guys want to see me make an herbal bath, let me know. I sure will. Go to Peggy's, where she has a big bathtub, and do a video of the bath, not me in the bath, of the bath. And everything that you need to do to prepare for it, all of that. And I could show you some really beautiful ways to set up a bath area for like a meditation in the water. Oh boy, those are some of my favorite things to do. I try and do psychic awareness herbs in the bath. And this is actually something I always add to an herbal bath. And then just sit in that soaks in my skin and my pores. I've done magic on the herbs. You know, you get the point. They're so great. Candles, incense. Red clover is also used in lust potions, and the infusion is sprinkled to remove negative spirits. In general, clover keeps snakes away from your property if grown there. So when he says in general, I think covering, like in general, all of the clover. Keep snakes away from your property if grown there. When placed in the left shoe and then forgotten, clover will keep evil from you. I forget things all the time. I'm going to put this in my shoe. And by the time I go to work tonight, I'll have forgotten. Left shoe. And you guys should do that too. Just take off your shoe right now if you've got one on and put it in there. Chances are you'll forget you did it later. We're hilarious, aren't we? Okay, so if you, in general, left shoe... Where are we, you all? We can't have finished, I would have known. Oh. Worn over the right breast, it brings success in all undertakings. So a mojo bag are often kept right in your bra. You tuck it in your bra. There you go. A mojo bag with Clover in general will worn over the right breast so that it's near your heart in a piece of blue silk to help you through. So, wow. Oh, wait, so that was the second one. I apologize. Let me say the first one. Clover, worn over the right breast, it brings success in all undertakings. Next thing. Clover. If you have been disappointed in love, wear Clover near your heart in a piece of blue silk to help you through. And when your heart is pretty much in the middle, it's only just a hair more toward the left. So, over the heart or on the left of a blue silk. That's Clover from My Herbal Bible by Scott Cunningham, Magical Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. And now we're on to Magical Herbalism by Scott Cunningham. And in this book, you go to the back, it says, here's the pages to look up. Page 64. On that page, they're talking about red clover or the flowers. On page 131, wait, what? On 131, they're talking about the four-leaf, and on 152 through 53, a bunch of different stuff. 3, 4-leaf, etc. So, now I will tell you what it says. On page 64, it says simples. A simple is an infusion of a single herb. To make a clairvoyant simple, boil 1 pint of water in your pot. In a teapot, put 1/2 ounce mugwort, thyme, rosemary, or yarrow in a cup and pour the water over it. Let steep for 10 minutes, then strain, using a bamboo or other non-metallic strainer. I have to get a non-metallic strainer. That's a really big deal. You guys, if I don't get one the next time you see me use a strainer, remind me that I need a non-metallic strainer. Because, like, I take a lot of pride in, like, using the glass to boil the water and the fire from the gas stove, and then I put it through a metal strainer, you know. Okay, so, anyway, sweeten with a little honey if desired, clover and orange being traditional. So that's all that it said about clover on page 64, and the reason I think it's red clover is because this is very sweet. Like I said, when I smelled this dried, it smells like a frickin' fruity tropical jungle. Or like I just had a drink off of an amazing herbal tea, or I'm in a tea shop or something. Okay, so when we get to the next section, we are at page 131, and we're right at the beginning of chapter 12, Amulets. And I'm just going to read, like, until we get to the point where we're at. Herbs are often worn or carried in order to tap their specific powers. Following are several traditional herbal amulets, some of which are questionable, some fanciful, but all fascinating and potentially useful. So, there's one to see ghosts, one to allay fear, one to detect wishes, one to be courageous. There's loads in here. But the one that Clover is in, it's to avoid military service. Like I was saying, we read in the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. To avoid military service, wear the four-leaf clover if you wish to avoid duty. And basically, when the world is at war, as it is This is not a bad thing for anyone to do, men or women. Because gosh, who wants to be a part of that? And if you do, my highest respects. We just celebrated Veterans Day, and my husband is a veteran, and I have the highest respects for that. But if you're a person who does not want to, I'm saying that at a time of war, there's always a chance of a draft, or something like that. Who knows what could happen? So, it would be a good thing to add into an amulet just for general protection, occupational protection, or specifically, you know, you have family pressure from that or something, you could do something up like that. Now we're on to page 152 and 153, where we have a normal kind of section, and it talks about clover. What time are we at? Okay, that's not too bad. Clover. Folk names: trefoil, honey stalks, three-leaved grass. Gender: hot. Planet: Mercury. Element: all four elements. That's awesome. That's really cool. Part used: the herb. Basic powers: protection. Specific uses: the three-leaf clover is often... is it going to mirror exactly what it said in there, I wonder? It is. But there's more, though. Okay, it's what that says in there, but adding more. Okay. The three-leaf clover is often used in rituals designed to protect or keep one looking youthful and fair. As a protection, carry one on your person. To keep looking young, gather dew on May Day morning, just before the sun rises. Put into this water 3 clover stalks. Let these steep all day out of the sun's rays. Out of the sun's rays. The next morning, again, before the sun rises, rub a little of the water on your face. Do this every morning until the water is used up. Cover the bowl with a cloth to keep the water clean, and store in a place where it will remain untouched until the following morning. 4-leaf clovers are carried to prevent madness. It is also a popular amulet to avoid military service. Gather the 4-leaf clovers in the morning, then walk to the nearest hill. As the sun rises, throw 1 clover to the north and 1 to each of the other directions, calling upon the powers of the elements to protect you. And remember, Scott Cunningham is a Wiccan. To keep you from getting drafted, or whatever your wish is. Then, after finishing the ritual, pluck 1 more 4-leaf clover. Remember, leave something in payment to the earth for such plant taken. Always, 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 always. Even if it's a little ash to that plant, you guys. That's another thing I forgot to tell you can do with ash. Ash is a great offering to plants. So is blood. They need those things in order to live. Like, obviously a plant doesn't need blood, but it really helps it thrive and grow amazingly well. So, let's see, where are we at? Sorry, I'm trying to find out where we're at. Then after finishing the ritual, pluck 1 more 4-leaf clover. Remember, leave something in payment. And keep it as a magical link with the elements. Snakes will not venture where clover grows. And that's another thing, which I think we mentioned in one of those books. If a clover is grown on your property, snakes will not come there. So if you have snake problems, you certainly could grow clover to keep them at bay. Now, last but not least, I wanted to see if there were any other, like, clover videos in witchcraft and herbalism using witchcraft, and there's not on YouTube. But there were tons on the medicinal aspects. So, I do want to just always talk about that, at least a smidgen, because, like, if you put it in an herbal bath, it might do amazing things for your skin medicinally. Or if you drink the tea, you know, what's it going to do inside your body? I wasn't able to find clover at all in Wicca in the kitchen, which means that, you know, I guess Scotty either wasn't using it internally or didn't think to put it in there or just didn't. Or there's just, There's only so much you can put in a book. You can't put everything, right? But I wanted to skim through some of the medicinals because, again, this is an herb that I probably first had in a tea before I was into witchcraft. But I've always, from a young child, been into herbalism. That's always been attached to me wanting to pull things from nature and find out if I could eat it, you know, if I could use it in cooking. And growing up on a farm and such, that obviously roots with nature. But before witchcraft, I was into medicinal herbalism. So I always think that this is really great to throw in here. The part used is the flower heads when we're talking about medicinal. This book that I'm reading, it's called The Herbal Handbook, A User's Guide to Medicinal Herbalism by David Hoffman. And I've had this since I was like 17 years old. So this has been a magical tool for me for quite some time, and I didn't even know it. So let's see. It tells you how to collect it. You know, the flower heads are gathered between May and September. It tells you its actions. It says it's... I'm not a doctor, I have to say that. I just practice and study herbalism, and I share the information with you guys. So it's good for an expectorant, which I think means that, well, when you expectorate, you're spitting. So I think an expectorant helps you break up things like that. I'm not 100% sure on that. And it's an antispasmodic, which means that it will help you stop the spasms of coughing, I believe. It's been a long time since I brushed up on my medical terminology, and this book doesn't break it down and dumb it down for you. It's medically based. And it says indications. So indications is what it's used for and what it's positive for, and then the word contraindication is what you'd never want to use this for. Like, if you had a heart condition, you never want to use grapefruit, because grapefruit interacts with almost every single heart medication out there. Nonetheless, regular medications as well. So not a lot of people know that. You need to avoid grapefruit in all forms if you have any kind of heart issues and take medication for it. So that would be a contraindication to a heart issue, is grapefruit. I don't know if this will say contraindications for the red clover, but it does say indications, which are go. Red clover is one of the most useful remedies for children with skin problems. Again, if you put it in a bath, like a big herbal tea bath for your kids, oh boy. It may be used with complete safety in any case of childhood eczema. We worked with something just the other day and it was good for eczema. What was it? I'll think of it. It may also be of value in other chronic skin conditions such as psoriasis. While being most useful with children, it can also be of value for adults. So that's interesting. It's an herb that medicinally is best for children. The expectorant and antispasmodic action give this remedy a role in the treatment of coughs and bronchitis, but especially in whooping cough. What? Okay, wow. Whooping cough is something that people who get shots for their children, it's on the shot list. I'm not going to go into a big talk about if, you know, vaccinations are good or bad. You have to make that decision for yourself, because the benefits are almost as scary as all of it's scary, right? Making a choice on your child's life. But what I do have to say is I've never heard of something being especially amazing for whooping cough in the treatment of children. So, wow. Wow. So if you, for some reason, didn't get your child vaccinated for whooping cough, and there have been outbreaks, believe me, in the last, since we've been getting the shot. They don't go away, they just don't publicize it a ton, and they should. But you could get your kid on, talk to your doctor and naturopath. But I'm just saying, it sounds like this is something you should start putting in their tea to have a preventative against whooping cough. But it says in the treatment of whooping cough, so I don't know. As an alternative, it is indicated in a wide range of problems when approached in a holistic sense. There is some evidence to suggest an anti-neoplastic action in animals. Combinations for skin problems. It combines well with yellow dock and nettles. Preparation and dosage. Infusion. Pour a cup of boiling water onto 1 to 3 teaspoons of the dried herb and leave it to infuse for 10 to 15 minutes. This should be drunk 3 times a day. Tincture. Take 2 to 6 milliliters of the tincture 3 times a day. A tincture is where you put pure alcohol over this and then you strain it. Or you could use raw apple cider vinegar for a child if you didn't want them to have alcohol, or you can use glycerin. How else can you do tinctures? There's a few ways, but I do mine with alcohol because I'm an adult and I feel like that's the quickest way to get the most benefit of the herb. And plus you're just taking a couple of drops. The diaphoretics, I don't know what that is, can be helpful in increasing the amount of perspiration from the skin. So if you sweat a lot, this will help you not sweat so much. This is, or if you're going to go on a first date or to a doctor's, okay, every time I get acupuncture, I get covered in sweat. I'm not scared of needles, but my body just like knows it's coming and I get like, it's weird. Or if I get ready to get a tattoo by somebody I've never met before, I get covered in sweat. It's so weird. Even just driving to the place. So it's completely mental for me. But I think this would be able to help. So if you have situations, like, I know first dates can be, like, really pressure for people. Dude, make a clove tincture and, like, take loads of that. And this is red clover in particular. Red clover. What I'm showing you right here, the buds. And I'll bring this up to the camera at the end again. So, let's see what else. So, and if you're a person who doesn't wear deodorant, because none of us should wear deodorant with aluminum in them, and most of the ones that work, that keep you from sweating, have aluminum in them. Our bodies are supposed to sweat. Our bodies need to get rid of that stuff to detox. Like, that is what our skin is for. You just need to shower, right? But, like, honestly, think, what is it doing to our bodies if we're putting on something where we don't sweat now? Are those toxins sitting there so close to your breast tissue? That's fucking scary. Toxins sitting in your body. It goes back to, like, women who don't do a breakthrough bleed and just never have a period because they take birth control. Scary stuff. We need to sweat. We need to do nature's process. We need to let it happen. Or else I fear that they're just sitting there. How else are they getting out, you know? Okay. Sorry about that little rant there. Tonics, hepatics, and lymphatic herbs are all useful for the skin. You will notice that many of the alternatives mentioned could fit into these categories. Antimicrobial will often be indicated. Echinacea and garlic are the most useful. Why are they talking? Oh, for a tonic. Okay. Vulneraries are, of course, vulneraries, like vulnerable, vulneraries, I don't know, are of course used extensively for wound healing. Vulneraries. And I see this book does use big words I don't know. I'm just never going to lie and be like, oh yeah, that means this, because I don't know. These are explored below. Nervines are especially helpful for skin problems, whereas the irritation upon eruption and tension and anxiety within the person. Oils, both aromatic and... So, really good, you guys. Really good for any kind of cough, spasms, that sort of thing. Even whooping cough, oh my goodness, the treatment of. Now I know. Wild. And not only that, but also skin irritation, psoriasis, eczema. And then in this book, it gives you the approach to eczema and psoriasis. I'm not going to go completely into that because it's not my main focus of this channel. But this book is excellent. It really tells you to sit here, how to sit here and make up remedies with red clover for psoriasis. Amazing. So I'm going to hold this book up because it's not one I show a ton in my videos. I've had it again since I was, I think, 17 years old. And it's just really lovely. I'm attached to it for sure. And here is this beautiful dried red clover, which I got at the bulk bins at my grocery store in the herbal section. And I think on the video we read that this amount right here that I purchased was like 40 cents or something ridiculous. Like, I mean, you know, it's not like it should be terribly expensive, but like you can make your own tea, you can make your own herbal baths for less than $1 of the one ingredient, whereas I don't know, if you got this much on Etsy, it could be like $4. Like, I don't know. Do your own maths on it, see where you want to get your things, but I was really happy to do this video for you guys. Thank you for joining me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, while we talked about clover, red clover, 4-leaf, 3-leaf, oh my goodness, white, all of the types in both magic, medicine, and so on. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.